Okay, so what if everything you've ever been told about being smart is, well, just wrong? For way too long, we've been trapped by this really narrow idea of what intelligence is. But what if there are tons of different ways to be smart? In this explainer, we're going to break down every single type of intelligence and, more importantly, show you exactly how you can train each one. This quote, it really hits home. For about a century, we've been obsessed with one single number, the IQ score. We've used it like some kind of sorting hat for life. And the problem is, that obsession has made us completely blind to this whole universe of other human abilities. The actual skills that build empires, create amazing art, and help us truly connect with each other.
All right, so first things first, we need to dismantle this whole myth of smart. I'm talking about that super narrow academic version of intelligence that schools absolutely love to put on a pedestal, while so many other brilliant kinds of minds just get left behind.
And I mean, just look at the difference here. On one side, you've got school smarts. It's all about textbook problems where there's only one right answer, and the whole point is just to test you and rank you. But then, on the other side, you've got life smarts. We're talking real-world problems with, like, infinite solutions, where what really matters is how well you can adapt. The real tragedy here is that schools often just crush those street smarts by trying to force every single problem into that first column.
So this is the one. This is the intelligence our schools have put on a throne, logical mathematical. It's that ability to reason, to calculate, to think in these abstract ways. And look, it's super important, for sure, but it's just one tool in a massive toolbox. If you don't have as much of this one, it doesn't mean you're less smart. It just means you're a different kind of brilliant.
And here's the thing, even this traditional intelligence, it's a muscle. You can build it. Seriously, try practicing mental math. Next time you're at the grocery store, add everything up in your head before you get to the register. Or you could dig into formal logic to become a master of making a good argument. And learning to code, that's just pure applied logic in action. It forces you to think in systems and, honestly, to debug your own way of thinking.
Okay, so we've seen that even book smarts are something you can train. Now let's switch gears. We're going to move away from the world of numbers and dive into something way more complex, the world of people. And we're going to start with the one person you probably know the least, yourself.
Most people get emotional intelligence, or EQ, completely wrong. It's not about being overly sensitive or touchy-feely. It's about control. It's the ability to walk into a room and instantly read the unspoken tension. It's feeling that rage start to bubble up inside you and then choosing a completely different path. It's basically a strategic weapon.
So how do you actually build this superpower? It really all comes down to mastering what's called the power of the pause. Something happens, right? That's the stimulus. Now, before you just automatically react, there's this tiny gap, maybe just 3 seconds. That little gap, that's where all the magic happens. That's your opportunity to choose your response instead of just being a slave to your gut reaction.
Then there's interpersonal intelligence. This is the intelligence of the social alchemist. You know who I'm talking about? It's that negotiator who can disarm a hostile room with just one question, or that manager whose team would walk through fire for them. They are masters of human connection. They just get people, turning strangers into allies and making everyone around them feel truly heard.
And guess what? You can train this too. Start paying close attention to the unspoken stuff, body language, tone of voice. Start asking better questions, not just yes or no ones, but questions that invite real answers. And then, actually listen. And hey, make an effort to step outside your social bubble. Real growth happens at the edge of your comfort zone, not sitting inside an echo chamber. This might just be the most powerful intelligence of all, intrapersonal intelligence. It's really, truly knowing yourself. Now, we all think we know ourselves, right? I mean, we live in our own heads 24/7, but that's kind of like living in a huge mansion and never once exploring the attic or the basement. This is about becoming an archaeologist of your own mind, digging deep to find out what makes you tick, what your triggers are, and uncovering all the hidden treasures and traps inside. So how do you actually do that? How do you conduct an internal audit? Well, let's get into it. Okay, here's your toolkit for self-discovery. First, journaling. But not just about your day, ask yourself the really hard questions, like, what am I actively avoiding right now? Second, meditation. It helps you take a step back and just observe your own thoughts without judgment. And hey, if you really want to see your blind spots, ask people you trust for honest feedback. But for the ultimate truth teller, audit your values. Forget what you say you care about. Take a hard look at your calendar and your bank statement. They never, ever lie. All right, we've explored the inner world of the self. Now let's turn our gaze outward, to the world of ideas, where the real magic of creativity and the power of language come to play. Let's just get this out of the way right now. Creativity is not some magical gift you're born with. It's a skill, it's a muscle, and it gets stronger every single time you use it. So how do you become one of these creative geniuses? It's actually way simpler than you think. Every so-called original idea is just a remix. That's it. Think of your brain like a blender. The more cool ingredients you throw in, books, conversations, art, weird experiences, the more interesting and delicious the final smoothie is going to be. The most creative people on the planet, they weren't born that way. They're just insatiably curious and hungry for new ingredients. So, you want to train that creative muscle? Here's how. First, embrace boredom. Seriously, put the phone down and let your mind wander. Second, practice divergent thinking. Here's a challenge for you right now. Come up with 50 different uses for a brick. Go! And maybe most importantly, create more than you consume. The world has plenty of critics. It needs more creators. In a world that is just drowning in noise and content, linguistic intelligence is your superpower. And this isn't about using big fancy words. It's about using the right words. Why? Because clear communication is a direct reflection of clear thinking. And in the battle for anyone's attention, clarity is the ultimate weapon. I mean, look at this. Don't settle for saying something was very good when you really mean it was exceptional. Don't just say a plan was bad when you mean it was harmful or ineffective. Using the right word doesn't just make you sound smarter, it literally sharpens your own thinking and gives your ideas the power to actually move people. Okay, we've covered logic, emotion, creativity. Now it's time to get our hands dirty. Let's talk about the intelligences that shape the physical world around us, the ones that build things, move things, and heal things. You know that kid, the one who barely scraped by in high school but went on to build $1 million business? That's practical intelligence. That's street smarts in a nutshell. This is the kind of intelligence you don't learn from a textbook. It's forged in the fire of real-world experience. It's the art of making a deal, knowing when to break the rules, and being able to adapt when everything inevitably goes wrong. It's the wisdom of the doer, not the dreamer. Okay, here's a radical idea your school definitely forgot to mention. Your body is part of your mind. They aren't two separate things. They're one integrated system, like a finely tuned orchestra. And when you move your body, whether it's lifting weights, dancing, or just going for a walk, you're not just getting physically stronger. You are literally upgrading your brain. You're boosting your memory, sharpening your focus, and unlocking a whole new levels of creativity. And this isn't just for pro athletes. Think about the surgeon's steady hand in a life or death situation, the dancer's effortless grace, the master craftsman's intuitive touch. These people are all masters of physical intelligence. They are literally thinking with their bodies, solving incredibly complex problems with a kind of precision and awareness that you just can't put into words. So let's bring it all home. Here's the bottom line. You are not your IQ score. You're not one single number. You are a symphony of different intelligences, a master of a whole toolkit of skills. Every single one we've talked about today is already yours to command, to sharpen, and to unleash on the world. So the only question left is, which tool are you going to sharpen first?